welcome. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. I'd like to take a moment to ask everyone to please silence all electronic devices. It's my honor this evening to give our invocation. Let's take a moment. We are thankful for this day that has been given to us, for its opportunities and its challenges. We ask for strength, insight, wisdom, and guidance as we forge ahead, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Amen. Is anyone else hearing a little feedback? Yes. Okay. We have a special recommendation this evening. At this time, I'd like to call forth Sher Syed. If you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, everybody, Mr. Mayor and City Councils. With all respect, I thank the opportunity to be able to stand in front of all of you as a citizen and also as a parent who had some children and family that were exposed during their youth years to bullying. And I was among the lucky families that my kids survived that. And I wonder how many more did not survive that or had worse impact on their children's life. And I come to the city as a servant asking for just one more tool, recognizing and giving some empowerment for our youth in order for them to move in life a little bit stronger, steadier, enable the weaker ones. And a big thing of that is really the efforts the city and the community and the school board and everybody that is putting in trying to eliminate and stop bullying, whether it is in the schools or in the markets or online or anywhere it happens. It's something that we need to stop raising our children to accept it, and we need to empower them to resist it and hopefully eliminate it. I don't want to take much of your time. I do thank you in advance for the city and for everyone here. I do appreciate you. Thank you.
It's my honor on behalf of the City of Burlington and the City Council to present this proclamation proclaiming February 14, 2018 as Stop Youth Bullying Day in the City of Burlington. Whereas youth bullying was declared a national health epidemic in 2007 by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention because of the large number of young people throughout the country, both victims and bullies, who have increasingly suffered from mental, emotional, and physical trauma as a result of bullying. And whereas child psychologists uniformly state that childhood trauma, such as being bullied, will likely negatively impact the psychological and emotional health of the victims into adulthood. And whereas bullying occurs in various social media outlets and can be equally upsetting and concerning due to the 24-hour access that social media facilitates. And whereas youth are experiencing harassment, intimidation, and threats more often in society, child behavior and kindness are preferred, civil behavior and kindness are preferred ways to foster peaceful living as a means to help encourage inclusion and acceptance of all persons, especially the youth of our community and that identify with racial, ethnic, and religious minorities. And whereas it is the obligation of all citizens to protect our children by stopping youth bullying. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Ian Balchunas, and the Burlington City Council do hereby issue this proclamation recognizing the 14th day of February as Stop Youth Bullying Day in the City of Burlington. And we encourage all citizens and residents to observe this day by exhibiting kindness, tolerance, and peacefulness as an example of desired behavior for the youth of our community. Thank you. I believe we have one more recognition.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and this is not something that appears on the program for tonight, because if I had told him that I was going to make the folks in this town aware of it, he would not have let me say anything about it. But at the January 26, 2018 meeting of the North Carolina of the Alamance County Bar, City Councilman Bob Ward received a most prestigious award from the North Carolina Bar Association. It's the North Carolina Bar Association's Centennial Award. It's awarded annually and honors an individual lawyer for outstanding effort in providing community service. The service may be of any nature that benefits the city and/or county or counties from which the bar membership is drawn. It includes elected and appointed service to local governments, civic involvement on boards and communities and agencies, involvement in public service projects, volunteer involvement in schools, churches, and other nonprofits. This award is named the Centennial Award after the North Carolina Bar Association's 100th anniversary from 1899 to 1999. Bob's over here looking at me going, where did he get these notes? This was Tom Steele actually made the presentation at the bar luncheon, and I stole Tom's notes. Aren't you proud of me? Just a couple of notes. Bob was born and raised in Burlington, graduated from Williams High School, and attended UNC at Chapel Hill, graduating Phi Beta Kappa with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science in 1967. He received his JD degree at UNC at Chapel Hill in 1970, earned a master's degree in Public Administration from UNC Chapel Hill in 84, and a doctorate of education from North Carolina State University in 1999. Also, in addition to his 39 years as city attorney here, he held numerous adjunct faculty appointments in the Department of Adult and Community College and Education at North Carolina State University, the Departments of Political Science at both UNC Greensboro and Chapel Hill, at the Institute of Government, which is now we call the School of Government, and North Carolina Central University Law School. Of course, he's a member of the Alamance County Bar, American Bar Association, and North Carolina Bar Associations, and has served as the president of the Alamance County Bar, a director of the North Carolina City Attorneys Association. I'm getting tired. I'm almost finished. A member of the board of directors of the North Carolina League of Municipalities, and also has served as chair of the Constitutional Rights and Responsibilities section of the North Carolina Bar Association. In 2011, he was awarded the Order of the Longleaf Pine. And Mr. Mayor, I just want to let you know this is to be recognized by your peers is a real honor, and I want to congratulate Bob on this. I will tell you that he received a very handsome plaque, which this is not it. This is just... the real one's a little more impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you, David. I really appreciate it.
And I will tell you that there have only been two that I did a little research. Only two that have ever received this from Alamance County, and the first one was Joe Wheeler, who was the city attorney from Graham for over 30 years. You're in good company there, bud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'm both humbled and honored, and it really means a lot to me. It really does. And thank you. And this was a total surprise. You should have given me some.
At this time, we recognize our city clerk, Renee Ward.
Members of council, it's my responsibility to remind you of your duty to avoid conflicts of interest. I now ask if there are any potential conflicts concerning tonight's agenda items.
No.
Before council are minutes from the January 16th, 2018 City Council meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Minutes have been approved. Agenda has been laid out. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Agenda has been approved. This moves us to our consent agenda. These items are typically non-controversial. If anyone has any questions, please let us know. Item A, to reject bids received December 21st, 2017 for the J.D. McIntosh Water Treatment Plant hypochlorite addition project. Item B, to approve a request from St. Mark's Church to hold a baptism at Lake K-Mac Marina. The date of the service will be August 26, 2018, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Permission is also required from the North Carolina Department of Environmental and Natural Resources Public Water Supply Section. The petition will be required to provide lifeguards. Approval is conditional upon meeting insurance requirements. Item C, Budget Amendment 2018-21, Public Restroom at the Historic Depot, details of which are spelled out in your agenda. Item D, to approve an agreement between the City of Burlington and New Leaf Society for the planning and implementation of the Arboretum at Willowbrook Park, and approve Budget Amendment 2018-26, Willowbrook Park Arboretum Park Project Ordinance, details of which are spelled out in your agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed? Consent agenda has been approved.
I want to make a comment about the public restroom. I appreciate the staff doing something about the design. I think it's very appropriate, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture to show people, but it looks very much in keeping with the area.
Quick question, what is the time frame on the construction of it, Nolan?
So the grant requires that it's done by October of this coming year, so we're going to try to do it quicker than that, but yeah.
Good, thanks.
Excellent. We have two items of unfinished business this evening. City Council will consider adopting a contiguous voluntary annexation ordinance of Pine Terrace Mobile Home Park. This was tabled from the January 2nd, 2018 City Council meeting. A public hearing was held and closed on January 2nd. This time, Council recognizes Senior Planner Daniel Schaffner.
Good evening, Mayor, members of Council. Before you this evening is a voluntary request for annexation into the City of Burlington, and we've discussed this at previous City Council work sessions. I'll also add that Mr. Joe Kalo, who represents the petitioner, is in attendance this evening if there's any questions for him as well. And staff is happy to answer any questions you may have at this time as well.
Are there any questions from Council regarding this item? Do I hear a motion from Council?
I move that we approve it, and I would like to make a comment, Mayor, if I could. This, to me, it's a difficult decision, obviously, but, the petitioner has demonstrated compliance with the statute, and then we can comply by providing the services we're required by law. And I think we're in a position that we need to abide by the law, even though it's a difficult decision and not, if we had a choice, it may be a little different. But since they've made this demonstration, it's in line with the law, that I feel like it should move forward and approve the annexation.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Are there any questions regarding the motion as laid out, or any comments regarding it?
I think the motion, as Mr. Ward indicated, this is by the law. I'm not sure that when the legislature passed this particular law, that the intentions that we're seeing here today was what they had considered. It's something just happened. So I don't believe it's fair to point blame at any governing body here, but I don't believe the annexation legislation which they passed, this was ever thought would impact us this way. So maybe something we all can learn from.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of the ordinance as stated to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kayla. Item 2, City Council will consider an application to rezone from R15 and R9 residential district to CR conditional residential district for the use of a 42-unit townhome development. The property is located at 2945 Alamance Road, referenced as Alamance County Tax Identification Number 114544. Tabled from January 16, 2018 City Council meeting. An amended site plan from the January 16, 2018 City Council meeting has been submitted. The public hearing was held and closed on January 16, 2018. This time, Council recognizes Amy Nelson.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just to review, this rezoning request has the recommendation of planning staff from a land use perspective, as well as from our technical review committee. The Planning and Zoning Commission are recommending the request to council by a vote of 4-3. A public hearing was held, as you stated. The conditions have been spelled out as requested and are in your agenda packets. However, I would like to point out that there was a small typo. And if you look at your list of conditions on page 2 of that section of your agenda, under the development conditions number 3, look at D. It is supposed to be 0.35 acre, not .035. So it's just a misplaced decimal. And it is correct in C above that one. And here we have a view for you of the final site plan as it appears in your agenda packets. One of the keys is that this portion is being left out of the rezoning, and the property is being transferred to the neighboring owner. So it will not be a part of this.
Okay.
And Mr. Greg Garrett is here as well if you have any questions of either of us.
Are there any questions from council? I know one item that was discussed in the previous meeting was connectivity between the cul-de-sac and back to the road. Were any options evaluated?
There is nothing here.
Other questions or comments from council? Do I hear a motion regarding this project?
Hey, Renee, help me. I make a motion that be consistent with P&Z Commission's. I move we approve this request based upon consistency with the comp plan. This request is consistent with other zoning measures and amendments that have been passed, making this action more reasonable in the public interest. So obviously, I make a motion that the plan be approved and submitted.
I'd second that motion. Any questions regarding the motion as stated? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is passed. Thank you very much. Moves us to our public hearings. Item 3 on our agenda, a public hearing has been set to consider amending the City of Burlington zoning ordinance, text sections 32.9, general of permitted uses, and 32.10, supplemental use regulations. This time, council recognizes Director of Planning and Community Development, Amy Madison.
Thank you. This text amendment request comes to you with the recommendation of staff. Planning and Zoning Commission are recommending the request to council by a vote of 5-1. The proposed tire ordinance was written over many months in an attempt to address potential aesthetic, health, and safety concerns across the city. There have been years of complaints about haphazard storage of tires and the growing numbers of used tire businesses. We feel that this ordinance is in line with what other cities and towns are doing across the state in terms of screening outdoor storage of tires. The intent is to make improvements to our community while still allowing these businesses to exist. And staff is here to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions from council? This is a public hearing. If anyone on this side of the room would like to speak. Welcome. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is George Hill, and I live at 236 Highland Avenue. I'm here tonight to vote in favor of the city proposal and limiting the tire business throughout the city of Burlington. For years, our community has been subject to some locations that are a disgrace to the city. These places are not maintained properly and are eyesore to the entire community. As the city already knows, most of these used tire businesses are located in East Burlington, which is a shame in that respect. Most of these businesses have numerous tires located on premises. Members of the South Beverly Hills Neighborhood Association have complained and met with city officials about some of these businesses. They have also posed an unhealthy environment, having tires out in the open, hanging off of poles, filling up with water, and after time, the water becomes stagnant, breeding ground for mosquitoes, and which can carry many different types of diseases and health problems. This is the correct time to take care of this situation and move the city forward. These changes are long overdue and to maintain the health and safety for all of us in Burlington. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Is there anyone else on this side of the room who would like to speak? Anyone on this side of the room who would like to speak? Do you hear, or do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
Make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Do I hear a motion regarding this?
You know, based on the amount of public comments we've heard on this, such as Mr. Hill's over the years, and I got to tell you, city staff's done a wonderful job at putting together the needed information. Amy, Joel, y'all did a wonderful job with this, and the data that other neighboring municipalities are doing with regards to this. I'd like to see it happen. I'd make a motion that we approve this request based upon the consistency with the comprehensive plan, and that this request is consistent with other zoning measures and amendments that have been passed, making this action reasonable and in the public interest.
Do I? Any questions regarding the motion as stated? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed. Thank you. Moves us to item 4 on our agenda, a public hearing with consent to consider an application to rezone from R9 Residential District to RM Residential Mobile Home District. The properties are located on the west side of Riverview Drive between Gordon Street and St. Regis Drive. Referenced as Alamance County Tax Identification Numbers 127107 and 127108. At this time, council recognizes Director of Planning and Community Development, Amy Nelson.
Thank you. This rezoning request comes to you with the recommendation of staff. The Planning and Zoning Commission are recommending it to you unanimously. The request is for a straight rezoning. Thus, you need to consider all uses that are allowed in the RM, which is Residential Mobile Home District. You have a copy of this list in your packets. There are no uses that are listed there that have any difficulties for staff. They're fairly moderate. And I believe Mr. Morrow is here to speak to the request.
Welcome.
How you doing, City Council? Yes, those lots that I got there, those small lots, they're narrow lots, and they're not big enough to do anything with, so that it's too small, that there's nothing I can do with them unless I combine them together.
So are you putting a mobile home on?
I'm not sure. I'm going to put a mobile home, or I might put a double wide. I might put a house. I'm not right now. I just wanted to get it zoned because it was a mobile home on it. It's a mobile home beside it. It's a mobile home park down below it. So it's mobile homes all around it.
So you just combine the lots so you can put something on it?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from council? Do I hear a motion from council on this item? Sorry, this is a public hearing. So, yeah. After the public hearing, you can have a chance to address any questions if any come up. But thank you for being here. This is a public hearing. If anyone on this side of the room would like to speak. If anyone on this side of the room would like to speak. Do I hear a motion to close public hearing?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor of closing public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Do I hear any questions from council or a motion?
Mayor, I move we approve this request based upon the consistency with the comprehensive plan. This action is reasonable and in the public interest, and that the amendment is compatible with existing land uses in the area.
Second.
Okay. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our first item of new business, item 5, City Council will consider temporarily closing the following streets on March 17, 2018 during B-Town Events' 3rd annual St. Patty's Day Bash and Parade from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Davis Street from Worth Street to Main Street, Spring Street from Davis Street to Front Street from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., Main Street from Maple Avenue to Front Street, and from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Davis Street from Church Street to Main Street, Worth Street from Maple Avenue to Front Street from Main Street to Lexington Avenue, and Lexington Avenue from Front Street to Webb Avenue. Sounds like y'all are going to have a good time out there. This time, council recognizes Mary Fawcett.
Mayor, council, thank you for this opportunity to come before you, and again, for the 3rd year, request a street closure for our annual St. Patty's Day Bash and Parade. As Mayor M went over the street closure, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions from council?
I was in Savannah this past weekend. They've got a big countdown clock for their St. Patty's Day. So we need to get one of those. I'm go ahead and go on record and say that.
You're going to amend this.
We'll work on it for next year. We'll just table it for now. How about that?
Any other questions?
No.
Do I hear a
That we
motion?
approve the request.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion has been approved.
Thank you.
Item 6 on our agenda, City Council will consider a request to extend the Rusted Buckets Tavern's premises to Davis Street from Main Street to Spring Street for the placement of a beer garden on Saturday, March 17, 2018, from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. during the B-Town Events' 3rd annual St. Patty's Day Bash and Parade. Approval is conditional upon meeting insurance requirements. This time, council recognizes Angie Ball, owner of the Rusted Bucket Tavern. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, council, men and ladies. I'm here to extend premises for a container for St. Patty's Day. Any questions?
Any questions from council? Hear a motion regarding this item?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I look forward to another good event this year. Fingers crossed for good weather.
It's on a Saturday, too, which is perfect.
Good timing this year. There's no public comment signed up for this evening. Do I hear any city council comments?
I just want to remind the council that we're holding the Youth Forum, Youth Solutions Forum on Thursday evening from 6 to 7:30 at Positive Attitude Center, and I would encourage anyone who's listening to encourage people to come. They're concerned about violence in our community among the youth. We're especially wanting parents and teens, if possible, to come, or others who may work with them or have been influenced in any way by youth violence. So please come.
And more information about that event is online at burlingtonnc.gov/youth solutions. So you can find out more about the event, and that is open to everyone and of all ages. Any other council comments?
I've got a couple. One is I think we need to congratulate our city clerk, Renee Ward. We did all think receive email that she was accredited with the designation of CMC. Is that right? I said that right. Certified Municipal Clerk by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And for those of you that know Renee, know that we've got the best one. We've got the highest certified one. So great job. I want to acknowledge that. And then, Chief, it was an honor and pleasure for my wife and I to go to the awards and accommodation ceremony at the Paramount. Well-run event. It was very impressive. And congratulations to you and your staff. It was amazing event.
Any other council comments? I'd like to remind folks to join us right back here next week for the Quasqui Centennial Celebration as we kick off the city's 125th anniversary right here at City Hall on the 13th on the evening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's just the start of a whole year of wonderful events celebrating the 125th anniversary of the city. You can find out more information about that at burlington125.com. Also, Belong in Burlington is returning at the end of the month, February 28th. You can come back to City Hall again, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Join us for the new residents and existing residents welcome program. We had just shy of 200 residents who participated in that program last year, and we're excited to continue it this year. Great opportunity for folks to find ways to engage, volunteer, and explore our city. In honor of the 125th anniversary of the city, this month, our Pet Adoption Center is celebrating by offering pet adoptions for $1.25. So for 125 pennies, you can bring home a wonderful dog or cat and help celebrate the event. And then lastly, I know some of you have wondered about how you participate in our senior games. I'm a couple years away from being able to participate, but we are holding an information session over at the Kernodle Senior Center on February 21st at 10 p.m. So no matter what sport you play, arts, bocce ball, billiards, swimming, shuffleboard, and many, many more events, there's opportunities to compete. So stop by the Senior Center and find out more on the 21st. Not hearing any other comments, do I hear a motion to adjourn? All those in favor? Say aye.